You won't believe what ESPN's Pat McAfee had to say about Kevin Stefanski's job security and rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel's first start in the NFL. We're going to talk about all of it. Is Stefanski's job safe in Cleveland? Lots of Browns fans are screaming about the play calling and some things that we've seen. We're getting into all of it. You will not want to miss what McAfee said and the insight that we have for you on Stefanski's job and what's going to happen. But make sure you are a part of the Browns Report family, folks. Hit that subscribe button. We are pushing to 54,000 subs. We're so close. And what do you get if you subscribe? You get daily, free Cleveland Browns shows. It's a free thing to hit. We will never charge you. Hit that subscribe button, folks. Join us today. And we give you everything you need to know about the Cleveland Browns. So Pat McAfee on his show had this to say about Kevin Stefanski after a Browns fan was pissed off and said he should be fired. McAfee said, I do know Stefanski and Berry are going to be given a lot of opportunity because I don't think it was their decision to give the most amount of money guaranteed in the history of the NFL to anybody. And you start to think, that's a correct statement. It's the owner. Of course it's Jimmy Haslam. It's always been Jimmy Haslam who bought the team in 2012. This is the Browns' issue. The ownership is not on the same page with the GM, with the coach. Nobody's doing things right. So I told you it was 2012. That's when Haslam took over. Let's take a look at some of the Browns' seasons since he bought the team. 2012, 5-11 season. Follow that up with a 4-12 season. Follow that up under 500 again, a little better, 7-9, but nothing to keep us happy. I want to really highlight these next 3 years, folks, because I was a Browns fan for it. You were a Browns fan for it. High school was awful for me as a Browns fan. You go 3-13. You follow that up with a 1-15 season. And after the season, you only win one game. You enter the history books for the wrong reason. 0-16. I watched every single game of my favorite team for 2 years in a row and saw them win one football game. 32 games, one win. And that one win was our Super Bowl on Christmas Eve. It was a miracle. This is an issue. This is an ownership problem where every single year, no matter who you put in, is terrible. Let's jump ahead a couple years because he wasn't great in 18-19. 2020 is when Kevin Stefanski got there, when Andrew Berry got there. And at first, it was a little better. 11-5 season. You make the playoffs. Probably my favorite season as a Cleveland Browns fan in my lifetime. Beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in a playoff game. Incredible. That's when I fell in love with Baker. Next 2 years were mid, though. Losing season. 8-9, 7-10. So absolutely Stefanski and Berry should be getting some blame. I'm not pinning everything on the owner and forgetting about what I saw from Stefanski. 2023, you're back in the playoffs, though, with just a rotation of quarterbacks. So many different ones played, but Jim Schwartz and that defense turned things around in Cleveland as well. They looked phenomenal, helped carry us to the playoffs. And then last year, we're back to being one of the worst teams in football. You enter the NFL draft with the second overall pick and a 3-14 season. It's terrible. So everybody is calling for Stefanski to get fired. Everyone is roasting Andrew Berry. But I will remind you that Berry and Stefanski signed multi-year extensions with the Cleveland Browns. And the Browns will not disclose how long those extensions are. So there's a probability that McAfee's right. They are in there to stay for a while, Stefanski and Berry, because they signed multi-year extensions with the team. And so I do think that even though everyone is mad, everyone is calling for Kevin Stefanski to lose his job, there's some validity in it because Cleveland has consistently had star players on their roster. I mean, how do you not make that push when you have Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt on your offense, and one of the best offensive lines in the league? It's infuriating to think about us not capitalizing on that. And don't let how bad our owner is distract you from the game plan that Kevin Stefanski drew up last week for Dillon Gabriel's first start. It was ultra conservative. It's like he wasn't playing to win the game. It was easy to predict. Defenses can figure it out like there's no tomorrow. It was just too safe and not fun to watch. We didn't put up 20 again. It didn't work. We lost the game. So, I'm still mad about Stefanski. He still deserves some blame. But I think McAfee has a good point that it is the owner's problem. Let's take a look at what Stefanski had actually drawn up for Dillon Gabriel. Well, they averaged 5.5 air yards per attempt. If that was the case over an entire season, it would rank the second lowest among all qualifying passers. Now, Gabriel had a decent performance, 19 of 33, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But they let him throw it 33 times and average 5.5 air yards per throw. That's not a winning recipe as an offense. Consistently short dink and dunks 33 times. How is that going to move you down the field? How is that going to win you football games? Defenses are going to start accounting for it because Gabriel couldn't make a deep throw. The game was then mismanaged at the end. In the final few minutes, Cleveland burned 3 timeouts on the Vikings' game-winning drive to stop the clock for them. And it still left us with only 25 seconds left. It was awful by Stefanski. It's the reason we lost. So, yes, the coach deserves blame. Kevin Stefanski deserves blame. I'm not forgetting about that. And I think he's starting to become on a short leash in Cleveland. If we have a losing season this year and into next year, then it would be time to boot him. But it feels like no one in power is on the same page. Haslam's doing things that Stefanski doesn't agree with. Berry's doing things that Stefanski didn't know about. Stefanski said today that the Joe Flacco trade was a shock to him. He didn't know. I mean, are we on the same page at all? The owner made the move to go pay Deshaun Watson all that money. And get this, we didn't draft an offensive lineman in 2025. How do you not draft our biggest need right now? I mean, it's so bad. The offensive line is crushing our team, crushing our offense. I showed you this, right? This was the state of the Cleveland Browns offensive line entering the year. You knew that when you were in the NFL draft. 4 of the 5 starters are on contract years and 30 years or older. And now DeJuan Jones, of course, is out for the year, having his 3rd straight knee surgery. You knew most of this entering the NFL draft, though, and you did not draft a lineman. Who is supposed to succeed behind this offensive line, folks? Now, I will say Jack Conklin, returning from injury last week, helped out a little bit. He looked pretty good at right tackle. And Cam Robinson, who we traded with the Texans for, will help out the Browns as well. He was only given 7 snaps last week. He was a swing tackle. I imagine him to emerge as the Browns' starting left tackle to replace DeJuan Jones. This will help, but it's just a mess. Front office, coach, GM-wise, folks. Should you fire the coach? To the Browns fans screaming about it. Should Kevin Stefanski be fired? What do we think in the comment section? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. I'm really starting to agree with McAfee, though. The owner is the biggest issue. Sell the dang team, Haslam, if this keeps up, because we as fans can't keep enduring this pain when our defense is super good. But let me know what you think about Stefanski. You still want him out? You still want him fired? Browns fans, let me know. Coming up on the show, you're not going to miss that Pat McAfee had some comments about Dillon Gabriel's performance, his first start. People saying it's good. Was it really that good? Let's talk about what McAfee said. You will not want to miss it, folks. Join the party. Subscribe right now so that you can get all Cleveland Browns news and updates as soon as it happens. Hit that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss it, folks. And let's tell you exactly what Pat McAfee had to say about Dillon Gabriel. He said that Dillon Gabriel looked good. I thought us Browns fans, would be a little more positive. I didn't know it was going to be this negative. He's saying this in regards to our emotions after losing the game. So, a lot of people are being positive about Dillon Gabriel's performance, but he's saying, why are Browns fans so upset right now? Well, first of all, we lost the game. And sure, Dillon did a fine job. It was fine. It was decent. But I got a lot of inside numbers to tell you about Dillon Gabriel's first start. that if you just looked at the box score, you'd say, oh, yeah, it was good. But did you watch the game? He's not the reason we lost by any means. It was pretty good for circumstances he was put into. I'm going to get into that as well. But the reason we're so upset is we lost the game. It still isn't working. Our offense still sucks. We still can't move the ball. And now we got to go play Pittsburgh next week with this same offense that hasn't put up 20 points. That's why we're upset. Now, overall, like I said, the numbers in the box score don't look bad at all. 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 94 quarterback rating. It's a fine job. Most important thing is that he didn't turn the ball over. But we didn't see any flashes. We didn't see any, we got the guy. We saw what I told you we would see. Some game manager aspects. It's not that simple, though. The analysts didn't watch the game. When you hear all these people, these quote-unquote expert analysis telling you he looked good, they're looking at the box score. They're watching other games. Every friend you talk to that says, hey, Gabriel looked good, I got that in the office too. You're just looking at the box score. You were watching your own game. He missed a lot of throws when they were over 10 yards. He was inaccurate. He didn't go deep at all. NFL defense is going to be able to plan against that, folks. And I'm not ripping on Gabriel at all. I think he was decent, like I said. Like, we could win a game with Gabriel as a starter. Absolutely. We should have won the football game. But the plan was so conservative. And every time he tried to make a deep throw, it wasn't there. That's not going to win you the game, consistent 5-yard throws. It just won't. It won't. That's the truth. And guess what? The Browns were 3 of 15 on third downs against the Vikings. 3 of 15. He couldn't pick up the big ones because, like I said, looks kind of like it's going to be easy to scheme against. And our offense still can't score 20 points. So I'm not ripping on Gabriel. I'm just telling you, you're not going to be happy, for Browns fans, if we see this week after week after week. Putting up 17, no explosive plays. I mean, that's hurting the Browns the most. We are one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to explosive plays, and I didn't see any on Sunday in the past game. Quinshon Judkins is saving our season, folks, with his explosiveness. All right, I told you the negative. I told you why we shouldn't hype up the Dillon Gabriel first start. But I would give him credit for his first start given the circumstances, okay? He didn't do anything wrong. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. It's just clear that he didn't show any super talent that he's a starting quarterback for years to come in the NFL. That's all I'm saying. I would give him credit for what he did in the circumstances he was put under. You know, it was his first NFL start. We have to remember it's his debut. He's new to this. And he does it overseas. Big environment. Low-key, it's prime time. Overseas, jet lag, whatever you want to say. It's not the easiest place to make your first start. I absolutely give him credit for playing a clean game. He's facing a Brian Flores-led defense that's pretty good in Minnesota. As defensive coordinator, Flores is historically good against rookie quarterbacks. So I also credit Gabriel for not turning the ball over against that Vikings defense. And then he had to play with this very conservative game plan from Kevin Stefanski. Like I told you, they didn't even want to let him try it deep. And when he did, it was off the mark. So I think that's partially Kevin Stefanski not wanting to put Gabriel in harm's way, right? He doesn't want Gabriel to look bad, so he's just going to make it super safe, make it so he can't turn the ball over. And that also translates to, well, that's why Gabriel didn't look flashy or special at all, because the game plan was for him not to. It was for him to just play safe, lead the Browns down the field, and manage the game. And I think as Browns fans, we don't want to watch that every week. He coached the game not to lose it. He didn't play to win. He played it super safe, dink and dunk. Let's just not turn the ball over, give up the big play. I want to play to win. Call something explosive. For Browns fans, we need it. I'm not loving the stagnant offense week after week after week. So I'm calling you out, Stefanski. Draw something up. Fix it. Not a fan. What do you think, Browns fans? Rate Dillon Gabriel's first NFL start on a scale of 1 to 10. Give me a number in that comment section. How do you think he did? Like I said, all things considered, it was a clean game. He didn't turn it over. Totally fine with that. But he didn't show any flashes. And that offense is simply not going to work going forward. Folks, we thank you so much for tuning in to the Browns Report. Hopefully Cleveland starts winning some more football games. This AFC North is wide open, and we should have picked up a couple more wins. We at least got one big one against the Packers, so it's not over yet. It's early in the season. Keep tuning in. Keep watching, folks. Let's get some good luck in Cleveland. We thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.